Finally, Shimano wireless is in my hands. Shimano have taken their time getting this out to dealers. Released a few weeks ago, I think we saw it at Eurobike. There's a couple of media outlets that have had their hands on it. A couple of bikes have been shipping with it. So Shimano, when they release something new, they tend to prioritize getting their new kit out to OEMs. So they get it out to Canyon and Giant, so they can put it onto bikes. And then workshops like us, the aftermarket they call it, are normally sort of the last in the queue. Whereas when SRAM launched theirs, they tried to do it 50-50, so you could buy a brand new bike with the new SRAM Force on the day of launch, but you could also go into your bike shop and get it fitted. Shimano have taken a few weeks to get this to us. Anyway, here it is. Shimano's finally on the wireless bandwagon. It's what we've all been waiting for. We knew it was going to happen, sort of now it's here. I'm hoping this video is going to give you more in-depth look than some of the sort of the first look reviews we've seen so far. I'm not going to start with this. I'm actually going to start with the battery, because we learned from the Campagnolo launch that SRAM actually have a patent on being able to use the same battery front and rear and being able to clip it directly to the rear mech. So this is Shimano's rear mech battery. Pretty sure when they come out with GRX, Ultegra, etc., they're going to have a different battery to avoid that SRAM patent. And then this is the battery charger, USB-C at least, so quite a chunk of plastic. And bizarrely, this little battery, it looks tiny. I'm just going to put that on my hand. That in comparison is a SRAM battery, and that is a Campagnolo rear battery, so quite a size difference. Now weirdly, the smallest capacity is actually this. It's something like 298 milliamp hours. This is the next, I think, my eyesight is getting really old, but I put this down 405 milliamp hours, and then Campagnolo way ahead with like 450 milliamp hours. So it does look small, but it looks like there's enough capacity in there. There doesn't seem to be any sort of obvious attempts at weather sealing. So on the Campag battery, you can see this little rubber gasket around here. This is IP69K, absolutely insane levels of waterproofing and magnetic charging. So there's a little cable that you plug in, so you can either plug it in situ or take it off and recharge it. There's no like cradle though, whereas SRAM obviously have their famous cradle, micro USB. Back to the mech. And the first thing we do is like work out how we actually put the battery in. So they've actually got this little cover just here. So there's a little catch. You just see me pushing that with my fingers. Push that in and then slide this off. And then here's the little aperture for our battery. The battery's going to slit in there. There's a little arrow and there's a little wedge just on the end there, which you might be able to see. And that prevents you putting the battery in the wrong way. So line everything up, and it doesn't clip in. It's like, it will, he says, there's no like obvious clasp or anything. It's just held in with a bit of friction. There's not like anything you need to overcome. So that's not as bad as I thought it would be though. I mean, it's definitely disconnected, but so far it hasn't rattled out and fallen off and down the trail. And it is a bit of a concern because this is just the plastic cover here. There's, I guess, how long it lasts depend on how well you maintain it. As with any plastic parts, it's going to take a batter in, especially off-road situation. Should see we've fully charged this battery now, so there's a little button underneath here. You can check the charge, and again you can press and hold this or set it up to use your Bluetooth, etc. Other features of the rear mech. So apparently this is the Shadow ES system. So try to really slim down this profile here, and they kind of have. I know this one's set in a different gear, but it is significantly a slimmer profile than SRAM Force. This also looks just generally a little bit smaller than the SRAM Force Explore. It works on a normal mech hanger, so there's no need to have a UDH or anything like that. You can just put this onto your normal mech hanger. And also they have like an impact reset. So if you do take a big hit, it will sense it and then reset to back to the position it was in before the big impact. Some pretty clever technology in here that they've already highlighted in their XTR, XT and Dior range. Now, there are some features on here that sort of made me smile. One is we still have a traditional B limit screw. We're going to adjust where this guide pulley intersects with the cassette, and there's a little marking on the side here that just says low, and you literally put the whole mech into the largest cassette sprocket and then line that up with the low markings there. We also have proper hard stops for the high and low limit of the rear mech, so familiar with seeing those. And then there is one more screw in here as well, which is this one, and if I undo this, this takes this cover off, so e-bikers will appreciate this feature. And behind here we can see the Di2 cable. I'm not going to pull that too tight because you need a tool to undo that, but it doesn't look like you can remove the cable completely. The cable sort of wraps underneath here, through here. I can't quite work out where it goes, and this instruction manual doesn't seem to say anything either. But this means that if you have a Shimano Steps motor, or if you just want to run an external battery or keep that in your frame, you can run a cable through your frame and plug it into here, and obviously you have little cable exit ports for it, all sort of set up, ready to go. So that's a neat little design, because with the SRAM one, you need to buy a dummy battery. Essentially, you buy a battery with a cable coming out of it to do that. According to the spare parts diagram, quite a lot of this is replaceable, and looking at this, all sort of self-explanatory really. So behind this little cover here, a big bolt, and that will unscrew the entire cage. So if you do smash this up, you can unscrew that cage and replace that relatively easily. Jockey wheels are all replaceable, so's the spring. Weirdly, this little top plate here is replaceable. There's actually a whole instruction manual about how to remove that. There's nothing actually underneath there, so I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. And this little bash guard underneath here as well is replaceable, and of course that battery cover. I don't know about you, but I am a little bit suspicious on the durability of that battery cover. I think once that's had a few hits and a bit of mud and a bit of grit in it, I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to hold up, but time will tell, right? Okay, let's have a go at pairing it all up. So we've got here, actually, this is the user manual. This is for you guys to use, and then this is the dealer manual, like 48-page document with various stuff in here. Levers, I haven't really made any changes. Obviously it's only a rear mech, so there's no front mech, so the front shifter is completely done, which is a bit irritating because this button here is not a button, so you can't set this up to do anything. It's just going to irritate you, the fact that there's something that looks like a button, but it isn't. So everything is done on your right hand shifter, so you've got your auxiliary button and you've got your two shift buttons. So pairing, according to this, can be done with the eTube app or independently. Now, it says down here that all we have to do is press and hold X and Y together until we see this on. So this is turned on just to double check, and this has got batteries. So we've got green LED here, and I've been trying this and I can't see any blue light coming on. So I am just wondering whether this needs a firmware update. No, definitely nothing's happening. Let's try the eTube app. Press and hold until we see that. It's good, this is all connecting. Pair, change your pass key, we'll do that later. Otherwise your bike mechanic will never know what it is. Okay, so we've just picked up the rear shifting unit, so okay. Oh yeah, and it's asking us to pair it the old fashioned way. So that's basically, you take your camera and you scan the little QR code on the side here. There we go. I bet you if we go to maintenance or the update stage, there's actually a software update already, but the shifter is actually showing as fully updated. So 2 seconds, we'll run this software update. While this is updating, I've just put a battery into the SRAM Force one, try and slim it down, and I'm pretty sure SRAM wins in the skinny rear mech. Top tip, if you're ever working on these, double press, takes it to an easier gear. Single press changes down. Yeah, actually, I think the SRAM might just be a little bit skinnier. Well, we're still only at 23%, so I might as well tell you about our next raffle prize. Yep, we're going to give away an entire GRX wireless upgrade kit. They're not selling this as a complete group set. This is designed to upgrade your existing Di2. So we are going to be giving away this rear derailleur with a battery and with a battery charger and a right hand shifter and a left-hand shifter with the brake kit. Now that means that if you've already got an existing GRX crank set, you can basically upgrade this straight away. Only other thing you might need if you're going from a 2x system is to get that massive 10 through to 51 cassette from their mountain bike range. So this rear mech has a massive 41 tooth capacity, which means it's designed to run with that 51 down to 10 tooth. So, and there are actually quite a lot of 10 to 51-ish cassettes on the market as well. So you don't have to use the Shimano one. Lots of other things out there are compatible. You don't have to go to 51 either. It will work on a slightly smaller ratio as well. But it is just an upgrade kit rather than an entirely new group set. Anyway, details of all of that are going to be down in the description. As always, we use raffle.com to take care of all the legalities. We've had 2 winners so far. Congratulations to Cy Bullock, who won the Zip 454 NSW wheels. He was absolutely made up. And I think it was a guy called Lewis who won the 785. We still have the Campagnolo V5S on the raffle as well. So click the link below. You could win yourself a brand new GRX wireless group set. This is going to be a super short draw, just 2 weeks. I think, and then we'll do the draw on that. We want to make sure you guys get out riding this summer on this. So be quick, get down below, and we'll make that draw probably sooner than the Campagnolo, believe it or not. Okay, almost there with this update. Aha, we are done, just like that. Okay, let's have a look at what we can customize. So we can do a multi-shift, and it looks like we can change how quickly you want it to shift. That's all pretty normal. You can number of limits. You can either just press and hold the button and click through the entire range of gears, or you can do 2 gears or 3 gears. And then in the maintenance mode, rear shifting, you can actually do all your micro shifting from here. You can flick through the gears and then change them from there. So we've got, so you can move it into gear 7. If you've got a little bit of noise in gear 7, you can just micro shift that out using the app. But apparently you can actually do this from the shifter and mech now as well. So you should be able to press and hold until we see an orange light come on. This thing's doing the dirty on me. Look at this. Okay, I'm going to go back to the instructions just to prove that I'm not going completely insane. And then it should be press and hold. There we go, orange light comes on. And now we should be able to just do, oh yeah, now we can do our micro shift. So similar to SRAM and Campagnolo, the idea is that you do the adjustments in the 5th sprocket, get that one absolutely working, and then you can micro shift individual gears from there. And of course, you've always got your end stops screws. Interesting. There's a few little bugs in there by the looks of it that Shimano need to get on top of, but that all makes sense. The rest of it is all about communicating with your Garmin, Wahoo, and all of that sort of thing, which is pretty straightforward, exactly the same as you'd imagine. You press and hold until you see the blue light flash, connect to your Wahoo, job done, and that'll tell you your battery levels and everything else. Okay, opinion time. What is my opinion on the new Shimano wireless system? Well, first off, I do quite like the fact that they've just gone for an upgrade system. I think that's really, really forward thinking. I almost hope that they do this when they bring out the new road stuff, that we can maintain the same levers. Don't get me wrong, I think those levers need an update, but I do like the fact that if you've invested in the Shimano system, you're not buying everything from scratch. You've got an upgrade path, and that is to be applauded. The actual rear mech, I think it looks a little bit slimmer, looks a little bit sleeker than sort of the SRAM offering, but that's always been SRAM's things to look a bit more robotic and futuristic. I think that's going to come down to your own personal preferences. I think I would have liked to have seen at least a bigger tension pulley down here, just to help that chain around that little 10 tooth and remove some of the friction. But we'll find out when we actually ride it. My biggest reservation is probably this little battery cover, this little switch here, because it feels robust, but plastic parts and dirt are not normally great bedfellows, and they normally wear away at things. Things get rusty, things break, things get brittle, etc. I just don't know. I think this is a spare part that you're going to find bike shops keeping in stock, and I really, really hope it doesn't mean if it breaks out on the trail that this battery sort of just falls off. Got no reason to believe that. It is just a reservation I've got until we actually put some miles into it. Other than that, pairing was about as simple as it used to be, but once it's done, it's done. Yeah, welcome to the wireless generation, Shimano. Well done. Now, what do you guys think? I am dead keen to know, especially, this is more of a roadie channel, what do you think, or what clues is this giving us to what the new GRX Ultegra 105 might look like? So over to you. Please get down in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from us, please think about subscribing to the channel. There's loads of really excellent content from a variety of different little niches. So get stuck in, and I'll see you on the next one real soon. Oh, enter the raffle. This could be yours in 2 weeks' time.